Happy birthday, Pisces, and welcome to my channel. I'm your Cosmic Auntie, the interstellar storyteller, and this is going to be your monthly reading. I am recording this for March, but it could find you at any point in time and feel relevant to you. Energy works in its own cool way, so whenever it does find you, I'm really glad you're here, and I hope that you stay if you'd like to. This reading could be interesting to Pisces suns, Pisces risings, Pisces moons. Maybe there's a, unique Pisces placement or aspect in your chart you're exploring. Or maybe you're feeling in your watery nature right now. But again, however this video has found you, I'm just thrilled you're here. So my intention with these is to be of service in some helpful way, and my hope is that they may come alongside you and assist you in gaining greater clarity, a sense of validation or confirmation to whatever it is that you are feeling and navigating at this time. That being said, okay, always tune into yourself as you pay attention to the messages. Tune into your own inner guidance, your own intuition. You know yourself best. So when a message resonates, you'll know, and when one doesn't, you'll also know. Okay, so don't make anything fit. You are the expert of you. All right, so there's something that I want to share, and you're the first sign that I'm sharing it with, which is exciting. I'm starting something new, which is extended readings. So alongside these YouTube collective readings, I will be offering extended readings. That will be $10 Canadian, and it'll take these three, actually for like concepts through the 4 weeks of the month. So the readings will be broken up into the 4 weeks, where we'll be looking at what's leaving, what's coming, internal and external energies, which include relationships, connections, community, and then work and money. So those topics will be taken through each of the 4 weeks of the month. And the readings will be around 15 to 20 minutes long. Again, they're $10 Canadian. And if you were interested in purchasing the extended reading, all of the information is down in the description below. And you'll find that down in the description, you'll see the topic extended readings. You'll see my PayPal link. You'll see the topic of the video and the instructions. And the way it'll work is you click on the PayPal link, and before you send the payment, you put in the notes part of the payment the topic of the video, so I know which video you're ordering, and your email, so that I know what email to send the link through. And so you'll receive the link to a private YouTube video, and that'll be your extended reading. So again, they're going to be broken up into the 4 weeks of the month, where we'll be exploring what's leaving, what's coming, internal, external energies, and then work and money, okay? So again, if you are interested in those, all of that information will be down in the description, okay? The most important part is that the topic of the video and your email is in the notes, so that I know which video you're ordering and I know where to send it, okay? Another thing is that's important is to go to the currency exchange rates, because I'm here in Canada. So you go and Google the currency exchange rate to whatever currency you use, and then you send it that way, okay? All right, so let's jump into the reading and see what's coming up for you, Pisces. Starting with introducing the decks, I'm using the Muse Tarot for this round of readings, the Beyond Lemuria Oracle deck, and the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck. So again, those will also be in the description below under the topic decks if you're interested in checking those out. So I'm going to start shuffling the cards, and I'll explain the energetic hint that came through while I was tuning the cards. And it was this song from about, like, I don't know, the middle 10s, like 2014, 2015, like around there. I remember it was really, really big. And it's the song called How Deep Is Your Love? by, I think, Calvin Harris and the Disciples. Yes, I know it starts with a D, but so the part that came through was, how deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? What devotion are you? And like right away I was like, that is just so beautifully Piscean. Like it really is. And I got this like concept of like internal external energies. I almost felt like I was talking to myself in a mirror, which I feel like there's maybe a way that you're exploring yourself, like, and really like questioning yourself. How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? Like, what devotion are you, you know? But I also sense that there's a certain energy of like discernment. It's almost questioning someone else, like really like asking them important things to you, right? Like, because you are a very devotional sign, you are very deep, you're very spiritual in your unique way. And so I feel as though there's certain values that you've identified as being important. And when it comes to, you know, really kind of getting to know someone or being discerning about who is in your space and where you feel comfortable, those are the kind of questions you're asking. And because of this looking at yourself in the mirror, like there's this energy of like becoming very aware of like who you are on a deeper level, accepting how deep your love is, like accepting that sensitivity, that depth, that devotion, right? Like devotion is such a beautiful energy, and it is very Piscean. I sense that there's things where, you know, you're identifying like how you were devoted to yourself first and foremost, devoted to life, you know, God, your community, your family, your work. Like devotion falls in so many different ways. Now what's interesting is the Six of Voices and the Towers come out. And it's like, I feel this energy of like breaking through blockages. Like I love this tower because they look like they're not scared at all. They're like riding that rock. They're breaking through this like rocky level and like riding this rock. And it always in this deck gives me the energy of like someone initiating a certain amount of change in their life. With the Six of Voices, it's moving on. Like I sense there's more discernment in your energy, Pisces. There's just more discernment. Because sometimes when you're devotional, it can make you very open, and that can leave room for energies that are going to attempt or try to drain your energy or to manipulate that energy. And I just feel like there's a certain badassery coming through with these two cards right here. I sense that there's a certain leaving the past behind. Okay, yeah, Death card. Yes, change. There's this sense of rebirth. There's this sense of like power. The Six of Cups, like standing up for your inner child, being very protective of your watery nature, your innocence, your love. And it doesn't mean that you're any less loving. Like when it comes to asking those questions, if we're going to look back to that song, like how deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? What devotion are you? You know? And it's giving me this energy of like really being able to identify the questions that you want to ask based on what you are discovering to be most important to you. And I just get like stronger boundaries coming through this reading. And it's really beautiful. You know, with the Tower and the Death card and the Six of Voices, it's pointing to challenging times. But this is coming out of those challenging times feeling stronger in yourself. Yeah. Ace of Materials. Wow. The Ten of Materials. And the Ace of Inspiration. So the Ace of Materials is earth energy. The Voices, air, and then the inspiration is fire, wands energy. So there's this energy, wow, Pisces, of like, how do I like put this? It's so interesting. Because the Tower is above the Ten of Materials. So it's like, again, there's an energy of really protecting your energy in a sacred way. And like I said, it doesn't make you any less giving. Okay, the Ten of Materials is a very generous energy. And with the Tower, it's change. It's kind of disruptive. And so you may be just a bit different than even like, I don't know, maybe others in your family or in your community. And I sense that there's a certain level of acceptance to that and love. Like, I just feel like there's a sense of falling in love with yourself in a deeper sense, and therefore really becoming more discerning and protective over your sacred energy by asking, you know, important questions, to really, you know, gauge like where you're feeling comfortable. And it's not in a way of like creating any kind of seclusion or anything. It's just knowing like who you are and what's important to you. And again, discernment. That is something that is super, super big, I feel, coming through your reading. But yeah, I get the sense that like you may do something maybe a bit different. There's an energy of kind of going against the grain in a beautiful way, okay? A beautiful way. And it may have like created some feelings of like kind of not belonging. But I sense that like by embracing that, there is a sense of belonging, like there's a sense of community that's really beautiful here. And just like on a very, because we have the aces here, like a very individual internal sense, there's just an acceptance and even a celebration of that. And I feel like it's the time to really blossom, you know, further into who you are, like as authentically, as an original, you know, energy. And, you know, you don't have to, you're born to stand out, Pisces. Like whoever is here, whoever is resonating with this, you were born to stand out. And that may have even put a target on your back at some points. It may have elicited a lot of projection from others, and being so loving and generous and kind, as well as successful and driven and motivated. It may have, again, there's this energy of like, of really going through some intense times, some dark times. And those dark times has given birth to stepping out into who you truly are now. That doesn't make it right what has happened. There's a lot of healing I see here. with the Six of Voices. There's just a ton of rebirth energy. It's in the past. It has informed you and it has assisted you in discovering and reconnecting and discovering who you truly are, and to find such a profound love of who you are that there's more protection and discernment over your own sacred energy. So with the Ace of Materials, like this is, and the Ace of Inspiration, like this is a new beginning. This is a whole fresh cycle. And a lot has been going on in Pisces. So Venus as a planet is still in the constellation of Pisces. It has technically switched signs into Aries, but it's still like the planet itself is in your constellation. So that is really about your values and what's important to you. And it's also like Pisces, like you are endings and beginnings. So like things come to an end and begin in your sign. You're the primordial waters of existence with all of the potential, like everything and nothing is something, and something is nothing. Like you are so deep. And I just get the sense that through this depth, you have discovered who you really are and are learning to step out in the physical, blossoming and blooming with all of your radiance of who you truly are, owning it, like reveling in it, and being protective and discerning over it, while knowing, Pisces, that it doesn't make you any less generous, okay? Boundaries does not make you a mean person. It makes you a healthy person. You're allowed to have boundaries. They're allowed to shift, to change, based on what you are needing at that time and what you are feeling comfortable with, right? And again, there's this kind of energy of like maybe being a bit different in your family. There's almost kind of like black sheep energy that I'm picking up here, like, and I feel like a certain like embracing of that. Like it may have bothered you at some points of your life because of societal conditioning, making you feel like you need to fit in or do these things or be this way or blah, 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 blah. But now I just feel like there's a certain embracing of your authenticity. I feel like you've always been a very authentic person, and then with social conditioning, it's made you feel like you need to be certain ways, and it's been you're too big to fit into any mold or box, Pisces. You really are. And the things too with Venus moving through your sign, with the new moon in Pisces that has just happened, Neptune, one of your planetary rulers, has been moving through your sign. I don't know where Saturn is. Saturn might have moved into Pisces or will be moving into Pisces soon. I think Saturn is still technically in the sign of Aquarius, but I'm not sure about that either. But I know that that's happening. And so there's a lot of like big shifting energy, like a lot of like heavy hitters moving through your like celestial temple. Okay, and so there's a lot, especially with Venus, that is just like made all these conjunctions. Venus is values. Venus is like, what is important to you? What do you want to do? And like, how deep is your love, Pisces? It is literally Venus and Pisces. How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? What devotion are you? You know, like, there's no right or wrong way to devote yourself to divine energy. to yourself. It's important to devote yourself to yourself. It does not mean that you're selfish, because you can devote yourself to yourself as well as your work, as well as your community, your family, your relationships. And it's absolutely okay to really get a good, gauge of the people like who you are, getting to know, whether it be romantic or platonic, and where they stand with that, like, because it's also a sense of reliability with Ace of Materials here and Ten of Materials. It's like, I get this energy of like really being discerning. Again, not to use that word so much, but it's really a profound and potent energy coming through your reading. It's like, can I lean on you? Can I rely on you? Like, can I rely on you as my lover, as my friend, as my coworker, as my family member? Like, and finding and establishing boundaries that feel right depending on what you are feeling and what you are discovering with those, any given relationships. And with the Ace of Inspiration underneath the Death card, it's like, yeah, there's this sense of profound rebirth. Four of Materials, more earth energy, of like what lights you up, what your passion, your fire. Like, I feel like it's coming back. Like there's kind of a point of a dark chapter which happens, and there's a lot that we can learn from our dark chapters, and there's a lot that occurs when it comes to healing, with self-forgiveness, validation, rest, boundaries. Like, there's just so many things, right? So I do feel like there's a feeling of passion returning. I feel a sense of fire, of creativity, of feeling charismatic, feeling sexy, feeling sensual. Again, the Four of Materials is kind of giving me boundary energy. So we've got another Ace. So this is huge, fresh cycles. And it's really beautiful, Pisces. So the Four of Materials is what I'm talking about, like boundaries. This is a card that speaks to a sense of control. And I'm not reading it, like sometimes it can say other things, but in this reading, I'm not sensing like control. I sense discernment. Like, once again, discernment. Really reveling in your own energy, reveling in the success that you've created for yourself. And there's again a sensual nature to this, like with underneath the Ace of Materials, the Six of Voices. I really sense you putting a chapter behind you at this time, and feeling ready to step out into a whole fresh cycle, being exactly who you are, feeling intrigued with who you are becoming, showing up as the person you want to be every day, building, healthy dynamics with the Ten of Materials, fully embracing your generous spirit, while being a bit of a disturber in like the best way possible, because again, there's kind of like this black sheep energy coming through when it comes to who you are, and like how you're just going against the grain in some beautiful way. Like it's really beautiful. And again, I just feel like such an embracing of that. Ace of Voices underneath all of this is like really articulating yourself and speaking up for yourself. I sense like a lot more assertiveness and feeling more comfortable with that. And again, like, it doesn't make you like, it just feels as though I need to say this, like, because sometimes, like, again, being like, I resonate with this, okay? Like, when you start first, like, putting boundaries in place, like, it can feel really foreign. It can feel very uncomfortable. But I sense a more comfortability with boundaries so that your energy has room to recharge. You have energy to dive into the depths of you, into the depths of life, into your unique, spiritual devotion, because there's just so many ways to connect to divine energy. And I sense you being incredibly generous and, like, very much a potent, community figure, family figure. I sense you being a person that's very much of service to others. And I sense you saying, kind of sacred yeses and sacred nos more, depending on how you're checking in with your energy and what you're needing, and not talking yourself out of it. Like, if you want to say no and it's out of your, like, truth, and no harm, no bad intent, nothing like that. Like, no's do not make you a mean person. So I just sense you feeling more comfortable with that, with the Ace of Voices. And then also yeses, like, to connect to certain, or to go out to a certain events, or to, go to this function, or, like, to, spend time with family that you feel, comfortable with, and friends, and saying yes to things as well, where you feel surrounded and nurtured, and seen and respected for who you are, right? Like, the Ten of Materials is also a lot about reciprocity. But yeah, there's just, like, a cool energy here with the Four of Materials and the Ace of Materials and the Ace of Voices. All of these aces, it's like really speaking up for yourself, to give yourself room to be able to do what you want to do, and to give you room to cultivate what you are wanting to cultivate. Okay, I hope this is making sense. There's one more I feel like wants to come out. What else is here for Pisces? There it is. The Hanged Muse, your energy. I love it. Everything is very bright, and, like, this is a very bright deck, but it's very yellow and orange, which is your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra. There's a lot of bright blues as well, which is, like, kind of your, I think, third eye chakra, or it's your third eye chakra, I believe. So there's this, spiritual, these spiritual gifts that are deepening and being, cultivated and wielded in ways that feel authentic to you. Your life force energy, I sense, is building and even returning and glowing. There's a sense of personal power, here, and, like, this drive, this action, this trust in yourself to navigate the experiences of your life. Because, again, there's been some tough times. That's nuanced here, Pisces, but I do feel like there's what the cards are reflecting is that it's changing. It's time to start fresh. There's a whole new cycle beginning. The Six of Voices is moving on. It is a card of rebirth. The Tower is a card of, like, change. The Death card is also a card of change and rebirth. This is also a card of, like, surrender, and it goes into, the Death card comes after it. So there's just, like, this energy of really gaining deeper perspective on yourself, again, of what is important to you, who you truly are, and falling in love with yourself in a deeper sense, enough to, like, really put motion into become very protective over your beautiful energy, knowing that you're allowed to say yes, and knowing that you're allowed to say no, and knowing that it's okay to kind of have certain kind of questions when it comes to meeting new people, or yeah. Pisces. And being a lot more assertive in a beautiful way so that you have more room to recharge. You have more room to cultivate what you are wanting to cultivate. Okay, Pisces. Full spectrum and vulnerability. So full spectrum is a card about accepting like all of it. All of it. You know, really accepting life for the full spectrum of experiences that happen. As well as, you know, accepting the full spectrum of who you are. That you have this like very, you know, soft, nurturing side, as well as this like fierce, like change maker, like side, where you're a visionary, you're innovative. You know, I feel like you push the certain comfort levels of what exists in society in a really important way. It, like, you know, it might make people uncomfortable, but that's not yours to manage. And I feel as though that like this reading is coming in at that point of like really having this revelation of like knowing that it is not yours to manage if people are like bent on misunderstanding you, or like really vilifying you for being authentic and being who you are and being different and beautiful. Because again, like you're someone, I sense, whoever's still here and resonating with this, you're someone who just by nature goes against the grain, which is so important. Okay, it is so important. And then people who are stuck in this like sense of being like everybody else might be uncomfortable with that energy. But again, that's not yours to manage. So I sense that again, there's just this wider, deeper acceptance of who you are, your duality, the full spectrum in between. Like you are the fish, right? You're the two fish swimming in opposite directions connected by a tether. So the fish, right? This is endings, beginnings. This is duality. This is the, you know, being you know, this concept of duality and the spectrum in between those things, and accepting that full spectrum of who you are. Because as Pisces, as much as this new beginnings, this spiritual enlightenment, this devotion, this you know, dreamy like visionary energy, it's also like total annihilation. It is like breaking illusions, it's shattering illusions, it's being very real. And it's like really cool. So I feel like you're accepting that at a deeper sense, and even falling in love with your full spectrum energy. And that you're being very vulnerable with yourself, which is assisting in that process. And also accepting your vulnerability, and not to say like vulnerability isn't like, because we live in a freaking society that says vulnerability is like a weakness or whatever, but it's actually not. It's a strength, and that could be linked to how you make other people uncomfortable, is how authentic and vulnerable you are, and how aware of yourself you are, right? Like, how deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? What devotion are you? Like these deep questions, these profound questions, and willing to like go into that kind of deep nature with yourself and with others, to really look at yourself in a full spectrum capacity and see all of it. It's funny that this comes out because I just posted something on my Instagram story where it's like, the people who like are the most peaceful people or something are the people that give themselves, who create this large internal space where they accept like their creativity and their fear. And it kind of goes into this sense of like creating this like room to be everything, right? So I sense you are doing that as an individual, and you are assisting the collective in doing the same. Pisces. Mama Djambo, shine. Yeah, this is really beautiful earthy energy as well. It's time to shine. Like, I feel like y'all are stepping into, like, again, this whole new cycle where you're ready to radiate your beautiful energy in a full spectrum capacity. You're ready for new beginnings, fresh starts. There's plans, there's goals, there's dreams, there's like this zest that's coming through, there's this desire, this creativity, there's this like readiness to experience new things, to say yes, to say no, and to honor yourself in all of it. I sense that, yeah, it's all about being ready to shine right now. Marie Laveau, good juju. Yeah, you got good energy, Pisces. You got good energy. 32. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Mama Djambo, goddess of shine, Guinea-Bissau. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Temple Griot's element bush. Goddess Mama Djambo glitters as guardian of the lush green forest of Guinea-Bissau. If her name sounds familiar, it is because Mama Djambo's name was misconstrued by colonizers and replaced with the term mumbo jumbo, meaning gibberish. Still, she shines. So that's interesting because I picked up on this energy of like people like just bent on misunderstanding you and like shining anyway. It's not your fucking responsibility. Sorry if that's loud behind me. They like really struggle locking their door. I don't know if their key gets stuck, but it's very loud. Okay, Mama Djambo's guidance. You were born to shine. Be seen, be heard, be a movement. We need to know your name. We want to learn your dance. Yes, Pisces, you have such important gifts to share with the collective. You know, you're important. You are loved. You are seen. And I really feel like you are loving and seeing yourself. Therefore, being, again, to come back to this whole reading, discerning on who, what, where you bring your energy into, and who, what, where you're allowing into your energetic space as well. And not second guessing yourself to, think that you're a bad person or to think that you're mean. No. I get the sense that you're like, no, that doesn't, and it's freeing. It's freaking freeing. Embodiment. Daring to rise and shine starts with the courage to be seen and heard. Your story matters and someone needs to hear it. Fear of shining brightly keeps you in the shadows, hiding and shrinking. There is no way to claim your voice and avoid rejection, criticism, and judgment. But you are not for everybody. Yeah. If everyone likes you, you're not really being you. Yeah. Declaration. I'm ready to be seen and heard. Wow. I freaking love this reading. Like, yeah, if everyone likes you, then you're not really being you. And I'm going to be reflecting deeply on that later. This is all about shining. This is all about you, baby. Showing up exactly as you are, as who you are, fully diving into the depths and infinite exploration of who you are, showing up as the person that you are and want to be every day, being the change that you want to see in the world, taking time to yourself to recharge, to cultivate the things that you want to cultivate so that you have, sacred energy to be yours, because you don't have to share every single little thing, but at the same time, it's okay to share authentically what you feel safe and called to share, because your story matters and there's people that need to hear it, Pisces. Well, I love you very much and happy birthday once again. What a beautiful reading. I hope that this was of service in some way. And again, maybe I'll see some of you in the extended readings. If you're interested, check the description below. All of the information and the instructions to ordering those extended readings will be there. So again, lots of love to you, sweet, beautiful Pisces, as well as powerful, fierce Pisces. I'll catch you next month in the Aries season.